Lawmakers are trying to prevent scientists from combining human and animal embryos to make human-animal hybrids. In Splice, two scientists defy ethical boundaries and splice together human and animal DNA to create a new organism, also known as a chimera. Now, I want to stop right here because I will tell you, and I don't have inside knowledge. Nobody from a secret government lab has come to me in a cloak and a hat, covering their face saying, I have inside information concerning this. I'm just telling you, I think I can figure things out and tell you that more than likely this has already been done. Okay? I don't have proof. I'm just taking a guess, but I'm pretty sure it's a pretty good guess. And I'm pretty sure it's already been done. But anyway, here's what the article goes on to say. While the idea of such an experiment may seem far-fetched, scientists around the world have been dabbling in the creation of human-animal hybrids for years. Today, Ohio's Senate Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee passed Senate Bill 243, a ban on human-animal hybrids. The bill prohibits human cloning, the creation, transportation, or receipt of a human-animal hybrid, the transfer of a non-human embryo into a human womb, and the transfer of a human embryo into a non-human womb. Mark Harrington, the Executive Director for the Center for Bioethical Reform, Midwest, President of the Pro-Life Institute, presented expert testimony. He said, we all want to see treatments for sickness. He said, we all want to see cures for diseases, but the question is, at what price? He added, I'm becoming more and more convinced when it comes to emerging biotechnologies like human-animal hybrids that many of these researchers do not believe in any limits on research as long as it has the possibility to produce an economic end that suits their agenda. Scientists have had some success with human-animal hybrid experience. In 2003, Chinese scientists at the Shanghai Second Medical University fused human cells with rabbit embryos. According to the National Geographic News, the embryos were given several days to develop before the scientists destroyed them to harvest stem cells. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they were all destroyed. According to the report, researchers at the Mayo Clinic, see, I always thought the Mayo Clinic was where they made mayonnaise. You know, I guess I was wrong. Mayo Clinic in Minnesota were able to create pigs with human blood flowing through their bodies in 2004. Now, I will tell you, there is a watcher that lives up in Minnesota that he is knowledgeable of the big military genetic complex that exists in Minnesota. Apparently, it's huge. And he's telling me, he said, Pastor Mike, be watching for this stuff to come out of Minnesota. He was right. Here it is right here. He said, scientists feel that, in fact, you know what? Go take a look at the new bridge that they put in Minneapolis. You know, the one that, you know, accidentally fell on I-35. Go take a look at the new bridge they put up there, and there's two symbols on each end of that bridge. Google that and you'll see what I'm talking about. Scientists feel that more human-like the animal, the better research model it makes for testing drugs or possibly growing spare parts. What, like a chicken wing? Such as livers to transplant into humans. National Geographic reported, watching how human cells mature and interact in a living creature may also lead to the discoveries of new medical treatments. Now I'm going to stop reading right here because it's boy, we are in a brave new world. You stop and think about the ramifications of animal-human hybrids, and I've been teaching about this for several years. See, I'm looking for examples here. I should have the video here. I want you to get our set of there's a 3-video set. Jesus Christ DNA, the Holy Bible. It shows you beyond any doubt whatsoever that our DNA is linked exclusively with this Bible right here. God wrote our DNA, and God said, don't change it. I'm going to get into that in a minute. And then we have the one following that called the Mother of All Secrets. This is part of the biggest agenda that Dan Brown's part of, and I'll put Albert Pike up here. This book, 800 some odd pages, loaded with symbolisms from the late 1800s, and I'm telling you that what we're seeing scientifically today was written about here, imagined by Pike and by many others over countless centuries. And I'm telling you, we're getting close to the time where God's going to have to come down. Remember, God came down in Genesis chapter 11. He's coming down again, and He's going to have to put a stop to this. And I want you to look at some scriptures here talking about mixing different breeds of animals. Leviticus 19:19, ye shall keep my statutes, thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed, neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. Remember, Baphomet is an image of mingling two things together. God said, keep them separate. I don't want them to have anything to do with you. It's kind of like me and my sister on a trip to Arkansas. Mom had to put me on one side and my sister on the other. She didn't want us mingling. Why? Because we were going to fight for 6 hours in the car all the way down there. She didn't want it, and God doesn't want that happening either. So I want you to think about this stuff. And he said here in this verse, not only don't let your cattle gender with a diverse kind, you know, like people, thou shalt not sow thy field with what? Mingled seed. Look at this. Monsanto seeds of discord. It's fascinating because we're in uncharted territory, says the genial Scottish. That is like the worst Scottish accent I've ever... I can't do a Scottish accent. It's fascinating because we're in uncharted territory, says the genial Scottish, entertainingly named Hugh Grant, 52. He is the CEO of Monsanto, possibly America's most feared corporation. Monsanto dominates the agricultural biotechnology industry, whose audacious mission is to transform the genetic composition of the world's food supply. More than 80%, watch this, more than 80% of the soybeans and cotton harvested in this country now have at least one patented Monsanto gene in them, as does more than 70% of the field corn. Monsanto is the company best known, depending on which documentary film one has seen, for feeding what's called frankenfoods to our children, courting ecological catastrophe, or bringing ruinous patent suits against struggling family farmers. So Monsanto, simply put, has been mingling seed for years. They've been genetically modifying seeds, and this, I'm telling you, this is not conspiracy theory, folks. This is conspiracy fact. Remember, the people who believe in conspiracy theories are not the dangerous ones. The people who are the conspirators are. Monsanto is one of the most powerful entities in this country, and if you think that they don't have any control or say of what goes on inside the halls of Congress and the United States government, you're crazy. There's something wrong with you. This is what, it's not we the people. It's we the corporations in this country, and Monsanto is monkeying around with something that God said don't monkey around with. And it's like, well, you know, what God made's not good enough. We're going to do better. We're going to do better than God, is what they're saying. And I don't know. I don't know how to escape living in the world today and not eating something that hasn't been messed with by some factory somewhere. I mean, I don't know how to do it. Grow your own corn, but where are you going to get the seed? How do you know that that seed's not been messed? I mean, I'm just telling you, it's impossible to live in this world without being a partaker of the filthiness of this world. That's why we have heaven. We have the cross of Jesus Christ. Look at Ezra chapter 9. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons. This was when they came back from the land of captivity. They had intermarried, and God said, don't do that. Don't marry those people, because I have to keep my seed pure. Why does he have to keep his seed pure? Not because God's a racist, not because God hates black people. It's because that the line of the Messiah had to come from the seed of Abraham, and the devil has been trying everything he can. Watch this. This is the conspiracy here. He's been trying everything he can to destroy the seed of Abraham, both of the Jews and of those who adopted in by faith. So he says, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass. Daniel chapter 2 verse 43, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Now we know who that is. We know that that's not, the Turks. We know it's not the Europeans. It's not the European Union. It is the principalities, powers, rulers of darkness, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Demonic angels are going to mingle themselves with the seed of men. In fact, all I did was I looked at in the Bible for the words mingle and seed together in the same verse. 3 places, and this is where it leads you to. And I'm telling you, this is where we're headed. Now, we brought this verse up before, and I'll be honest with you, there are some laws that people need and some laws that I personally don't. You never had to have a law. You never had to tell me, Mike, it's against the law for you to lie with an animal. Never had to tell me, I don't need a law. It's written into my heart. I don't need that already. But God included it in the law for a reason. Look at it. Leviticus chapter 18. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile